Did you find an amazing flip property that you've got your eye on? It looks so good. Wouldn't it be amazing to purchase it? Before you buy that property, before you offer on that property, you need to hear today's real life story. All right, friends. So today we're going to be talking about flip properties and what you need to know if you're thinking about purchasing one. So we're going to tell you all this through a real life story that happened with our sweet clients just last week. All right. So this home was in and still is in the South Orange County area. We're going to keep things very vague to protect the innocent, but the story is the same. All right. So this was a fantastic looking flip property. It checked all the boxes for our clients. They loved so much about it. This home was located kind of at the top of a hillside. The whole community is on the top of a hillside, a bluff. And this particular one was towards the edge of the community. So they had their yard space, and then down below went a slope to the street below it. And we had been doing our due diligence as we were getting through the escrow process, getting ready to do inspections and getting disclosures back from the seller. But part of what we do, in addition to just looking through disclosures and preparing for the inspections, is to dig deeper, especially on a flip house. Lesson number one, you've got to dig beyond the beautiful when you're looking into purchasing a flip property. So some of you may know that my husband, John, is a partner agent on the team. And one of the things that he does for our clients when they are involved in purchasing a property is to check with the city in terms of permits and anything else filed with the city on that property. Going to the city, you can learn a lot about the history of that property that a seller, especially if there's been multiple owners across time, may not always know the deep back history on the house. More importantly, we wanted to know the current history on the house as it related to all of the work that had been done to this house, which seemed to be significant. And oh my goodness, did we learn a ton, way more than we expected. What we started learning was that there had been major structural, geological issues on this property. And they were significant to the tune of about a couple $100,000 in repair work at the property. But here's where it kind of went sideways at the city, because not only did we see some of the permits for that work, but more importantly, there was a legal document filed with the city that the city required the current owner, the flipper seller, to sign, which basically was a hold harmless agreement. The city said in the legal document that the work that had been done to correct structural and geological issues at the property did not meet their standards. And as a result, they were washing their hands completely of the property, meaning that if anything went wrong with that slope, because part of that extends down to the street, which then becomes city domain, if anything were to occur, the city would have zero involvement in trying to cure that issue. They washed their hands of it completely, not only for the current owner, but for any owner down the line in perpetuity. You could never go back to the city for any issues to deal with that hillside, with that slope going away from the house. Very, very significant. I've never seen anything like that filed with the city. That is a big, big deal. A, to have them say this is substandard work, and B, to have them wash their hands completely of a property is extremely significant. That was a huge driving factor. So you need to dig beyond the pretty. The next thing, lesson number two, is you need to have really good inspector resources. And lesson number three, having a great agent with a lot of experience is going to help you make sure you have the right resources, because the inspections on a property like this are extremely important. So we had our very experienced inspector out there. He had his most technical tool ready, a golf ball. And he put that golf ball on the floor and it was rolling everywhere. So the evidence of the work not being done well was also right there with that golf ball rolling all over the house. Doors were also not staying closed or not staying open because the house was still not level even after $200,000 of work to the foundation. We also learned in walking around the neighborhood One neighbor had commented about seeing all the work that was done. The house was completely lifted up and so much work done. But again, city didn't think it was good enough. And just our little golf ball test showed that it was not good enough as well. Ultimately, this home represented significant risk for potential future problems down the road. And we also discovered that a lot of the flip remodel work on the house was not done by the current flipper. It was done by a previous homeowner. So the work that had been done was not nearly as significant as the very high price they were asking on this property. Ultimately, we told our clients we could not feel good about them purchasing this home. And for our fiduciary duty, we advised against the purchase. And they agreed, because even though they had spent money on inspections, those dollars were the best dollars they could have spent to heed what could have been a huge financial disaster down the road. Because even if things went smooth with that house, when they would go to sell it, they would have to advise on all of this history, including that very serious legal document on file at the city. So, bottom line, if you're looking into a flip property, they look fabulous. And look, a lot of them can be really good. Most of them don't lead to this kind of a nightmare, but it is out there. So you really need good people behind you and supporting you in making a purchase like that. That includes the agent and the inspectors and the deep work that needs to be done on these properties, which is different than a normal property being sold by original owner. Still need to do your due diligence there, but it's even more important on a flip property. So what about you? Have you had any experience with flip properties or nightmares with anything related to something like that? It's pretty interesting. At the end of the day, you can get a really great house that you can move right into under the right circumstances. This was not one of those days for our clients. Onward and upward to the next house for them. All right, as usual, scroll through this email to find ways to search new homes, existing homes, check your home's value. Check us out on Google. You know we would love a review from you there. Better yet, come see us this weekend. All information about open houses is below in the email where you found this YouTube link, or you can look at the link in our bio as well. Thanks so much for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Take care.